run on certification, you
Mm-hmm.
know, certification and qualification. Are you really qualified? You know, like all of the individuals that ran for office just yesterday who got elected. Are they really qualified to hold those positions? Are they really speaking in reference to the people and for the people? You know, this is all about having effective communication to be able to provide. Because you, as a servant, you providing for people always, all the time. People say, man, uh, man, why you work so hard? I say, man, because the poor people need me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got to provide for my sisters and brothers, you know, or whatever the case may be, or show up or give them an understanding of how we can do this together. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Leadership isn't easy.
exactly.
Yeah, in order to be a leader basically is a servant.
Yeah, definitely.
As a servant that was under someone else's leadership and they saw the pros and the cons to it, now they're willing to tweak it and make it better for the whole. But being a leader is nothing more than being a servant. That's why you may hear the management term servant leader. So don't
Yeah,
think that by you becoming a leader, people are serving you. No, actually, the leader is serving the people. So the job is going to get more difficult because you have a mass of people that you have to report to, and you have to be responsible, physically responsible to the people now. But more so, each and every individual in each and every city, the population, we have a responsibility to ourselves, to our families, to our own communities. As we were talking earlier about homes, about the basic necessity, beautification, cutting grass. If the grass next door to you, no one lives there is cutting it, we need to figure out a plan how to get that cut. Like my old
exactly.
mentor, Ray Jones, said, he said, hey, if you live on a block, you got 5 men on a block and you got all these dilapidated homes, these abandoned houses, these men need to agree on one day to come out there and cut everything on one block. And then they create a fund for the gas money, or just ask the rest of the residents to put it together in order to improve our community so we can improve the value of our community. Because we had a conversation yesterday on about uh, comparative pricings in certain communities in our area. And so we have to get to the stage where our homes are just as valuable as anyone else's, because it comes from the same, you get the same raw material from the same manufacturer. So why houses are not priced similar?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about that on the MLS, the multiple listing site for real estate in Monroe. You
Mm-hmm.
got a house that's going for $500,000, $1.6 million. You
Right.
wouldn't think that, but you do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Little Cuba, Betty Drive. You got housing that's going for that. But when you come on the south side of the town, uh, houses 20,000, 10,000, 15, 30,000, and we still can't afford them. That's crazy. But you know, if I was if I ran for city council, I'm gonna put myself in the city council position.
Because right
District
now, what District
district
1, District 2,
district District
and
5. I'm out of
District
District 5.
5. I'm saying that,
I
well, they
want to
feel
know,
right now.
yeah, I want to know that I want to know everybody, every citizen that's in my district. What are they wage earners? Do they have children? Who male, female?
That
So
information is there. We get it through the census.
yeah, so I take that information and I have a community meeting amongst just those individuals that's in my district,
Your
demanding
constituents.
that the homeowners be at the meeting to talk about being able to buy the block back. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? By creating a non-profit organization that we buy the property back, but dispense income once we start to generate income by renting the houses out that we purchase in our section. You know, they always say, this is my section. Yeah, this is where we growing up at. This is what we doing. This is my hood. So we buy the dilapidated property, fix them up like Habitat for Humanity does. They give you an application and bring you in, see if you qualified to purchase a home. Then they have hundreds of people come out and work on this particular house until it's done. Then
Mm-hmm.
they release the keys to you. So we'll do the same kind of concept, purchase the house, repair it, refurbish it, then we own it as a district, as a community. Somebody's trying to rent a home, we rent the home out to an individual, or we resell a house to an individual that's trying to purchase a home. Now the community is coming up and is growing. That's how you buy your block back. That's how you take your district back. But just because I'm popular, I go out and wave my hands and kiss some babies and run for office and then not serve the people, then it's null and void. But if you have an agenda, it's the kind of agenda that you need to have. We create our own tax, citizen district tax. We pay this in collectively at an office. We put everything, organization in place. Treasurer, you see what I'm saying? President, labor finders. You see what I'm saying? And we deal with the things in our community collectively. Then if we probably one of the only cities have the recreation centers that we have in our community. Every community has a recreation center. You see what I'm saying? That could be utilized for the children to keep them out of trouble. You won't have no crime in your district if everything is up to par. The people are getting what they need, services. The poor people don't have anything, so they commit crime. I don't got no new shoes. Guess what? I'm gonna go walk in this store, put a pair of shoes on, and leave out, cause havoc or chaos in that particular area. You see what I'm saying? But if you share the wealth, you don't have to worry about no crime. You have a euphoria, a community that's pleasant. Go come outside and speak to everybody. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Brown? How you doing, Shirley? You see what I'm saying? Because the district will know everybody. You won't be just you won't be an outsider when you come into that particular community.
Now, Brother Mark, now some people call you crazy now when you come with these visions.
I'm sure they call Jesus crazy till he passed, and then everybody say Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Muhammad is my leader.
Yeah,
but nobody knows. These people came over 2,000 years ago. The scripture, we only follow in scripture. But when you follow the instructions of the scripture and the information that you have in your midst, man, we can start a major Fortune 500 company ourselves right in the district. It only takes a little money and a little ingenuity and know-how to be able to figure out what we need in our community. Okay, we go buy a warehouse building. It's a warehouse that's available in District 5 that's been available for about 15 years. Manufacture something in that particular warehouse that pay all the people in that district. You see, you got to create an avenue to create money, create jobs so people can go to work. We hiding under the guise of COVID-19, and I ain't going outside unless I got my mask on. When in fact, you should have been had that mask on. You should change the way you look at certain things in life anyway.
Yeah.
COVID-19, I'm washing my hands more. I'm staying away. I'm staying 6 feet away from people. I'm social distancing myself. Man, come on, man. People dying every day of hunger.
Yeah, people dying every day. Now, they asked Lil Boosie that one day, and Lil Boosie said, yeah, people dying, but people surviving every day. So we got to get to that stage where we survive, and we got to survive economically. As I mentioned earlier, people may say, well, bro, Marcus, I hear you, but that's kind of crazy. But the reason people make those comments is because they hadn't seen it. And in psychology, they teach us the best taught lesson is something that people can see, observation. But history in Monroe shows that, and you presented this years ago, that didn't the city of Monroe own their own the electricity?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the mayor or something, he implemented that in place, right?
Mayor Forsyth, in 1880s, going into the 1900s, man, we had a self-sufficient community. They had their own electrical company. They powered all the houses. You didn't have to pay light bills in this city at one time. You can drive the 8 train from Monroe all the way to California, the first known city to have the first adequate transportation system. You see, so the people can do it. It's about the people who sets up the system. If you ain't got a system or no agenda in place, then everybody gonna be shaking their head saying, I'm looking for this particular people or these 5 or 6, 7 people to provide everything for us. Nah, you got to provide some of this stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, we got a Fortune 500 company that sits in the city of Monroe that started with what, $500. That CenturyLink started with $500. We got Washita Valley that started with $35 and 3 teachers. You know, this, and now they got multiple banks that provide everything for this community. They just built the Washita Valley on the south side of Monroe. You see what I'm saying? They coming to get the dollars. They know we have them. Now we just got to know how to utilize the dollar once you get it in your possession. You know, I'm paid a wage. Don't give it all back to somebody else. You know, because I'm a abuser of purchasing tennis shoes or clothes.
Consumer.
No, put some stability up under you. Purchase you some land. You know, I mean, show you how to purchase some land. You know, I got a house on South Fork. I'm gonna tear my house down. When I first purchased, I was like, oh man, I got my own house. But when I look at it now, with the understanding that I have, I know this ain't the dwelling that I want anymore. You know, I want.
But you have the land. You have the land to make those decisions.
Hey, I own the land. Trust me. You know, I own a half a block probably. You see what I'm saying? So now with me going, I went away to get some know-how, some understanding of how to build houses.
Yeah, people go to college all the time.
Yeah, I've been gone for 3.5 years, maybe 4.
Right.
You see, but I'm always in the community.
But the difference, let's take that time frame where you had to go away, just like someone goes to college. They go to another state for 3-4 years, get their bachelor's, get their master's, and if they migrate back to the area, they migrate back to seek employment. But you're going to migrate back to create employment for others and also to create community development for your whole community.
Definitely. I'm a thinker. I create jobs. I've always been doing this since I was a young boy. Even when I was in so-called street guy in the streets, I created jobs and money through selling paraphernalia, drugs in the street. But I was able to help people get thinking they was, giving them an opportunity. But I was also killing them at the same time because I was not void of information. So now that I got information in it and my intelligence is grown differently, now I can provide jobs another way. So when I came home from my vacation for selling the illegal narcotics or whatever, I came home from my vacation with a higher education in a sense, from obtaining a GED to getting some accredited college courses or whatnot. Then, and I just utilized that to create something that I wanted to create for myself. I came home and created my own business and employed 15 to 20 people, providing an avenue, a different way than I did when I was selling illegal narcotics. Because I went away for 10 years, man. I could have been a pharmacist in 10 years.
But when you went away, you were also you were able to network and meet individuals that made mistakes, and they were able to share information. And you did a lot of reading during that time, so you're able to actually create a plan.
Oh yeah,
and that's
on my journey away. On my journey away, I met the guy that I'm working for at this point, learning how to build houses. I met him while I was away. And we created the relationship and kept it throughout the years. And then when he was starting to build homes or build houses, he said, hey, man, I want you to come down here and learn this from ground up. And he brought me out. And I'm saying, okay, this is what it is. This is how we do this. This is what a square root means. You see what I'm saying? When you go to school, you don't even know what the square, why they giving you the square root of everything. You just thinking, oh man, this ain't nothing. But this the square root is to show you how to put flooring down on your floor, or how to put an angle in your closet or whatever the case may be. But you got to understand what this math is really about and how you utilize it. So when you're dealing with this stuff, now you can say, okay, how I create a job for my friends and family.
Now that's a different type of thinking right there. Being able to create, being able to think outside the box, being able to have the vision to be a creator, a producer versus a consumer. Because traditional education always leads us down the pathway of consumerism.
Man, we've been doing this for a long time. You and I, and we've been doing business. We planted on the south side. We on the Winsboro Road. My business is kind of suffered while I was away. Mm-hmm. So I came back. I say I'm gonna tear it down to build it back up. So sometimes you got to reevaluate what you're doing and bring new opportunities and new ideas to be able to create another service for the people.
EAT?
You know? Yeah, I'm EATing every day, evaluate all things. So I'm gonna bring another service that's needed in the community that isn't there at this point.
So you know, if your ear wasn't to the community, that's the only way you know what the community is suffering. That's the only way you know what the community needs. So now you providing for your people.
Yeah, I'm on the block. I got my block. I'm on the block.
What that mean?
Ain't no doubt about that. I'm not hiding from the people. You can come see me every day. You know, my door is open when I'm in the city. When I'm in the city, I'm in the city. I'm like the mayor, you know. I'm like the mayor. I know everybody. I'm dealing with the people. See, but I look at the people for who they are and what they worth to me. If you know that you only got 4 black electricians that's certified in the city.
License.
Now there's license, you know, that's certified and licensed. Now I know who I can choose from when it's time to go do some work. When I know that it's only 4 or 5 licensed HVAC guys in the city that got Bobos, black owned, black operated companies. I go to them and say, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what we can do as a unit, and this is how we can move forward. And everybody eats. Everybody got some of this money. Evaluating all things from that perspective, you know. So when you do that, you know what can and what can't happen. See, again, I have street knowledge and I have business acumen, so I can sit down with both parties. So I can tell a dude to put the drug down. Man, put that down. You don't really need it. Like I told my son got me in a situation, or got us in a situation. I said, look, bro, we don't need that. We can do this, this, and this, and you can still be as flamboyant as you are right now. I got a flamboyant son. He's fly. You see what they call in the street, fly. But sometimes you could be too fly and not understand what you're doing. So, man, we in a position that we have to get children everything, and they still could be children at 30 and 40 because they say we don't get our maturity until we turn 40 years old. Yeah, in a sense, so we got to keep on providing avenue for those who less fortunate and don't understand, because you got to imagine, they say, you know, they say 75% of the guys that's been incarcerated is functional illiterate. So that's us. That's not them, because we make up 65% or 70% of the prison population, and we only make up 13% of the population in the United States, period.
I want to break that down, that functional illiterate, just make sure the people understand. When they talk about functional illiterate, you're talking about someone that has the potential, definitely the potential, but the ability to read is definitely reduced. They may not be able to read certain articles in its entirety, but more so the comprehension skills. So basically, they just become they hear something, they can just repeat that information. But the comprehension skills and also like the fact checking to it and all that, that's when they mean they can function in society, but being able to comprehend, they may not be where they need to be in order to be a 100% functioning literate individual. So, but they can maneuver in this society.
Yeah. And being able to maneuver is the key. How to do what's needed. You know, a lot of us is not gonna tell the next man I can't read or write. That ain't nothing to be ashamed of.
Right, but we can observe that, because anytime, that's why sometimes conversations all of a sudden get escalated for unknown reasons, is because someone may be they may be misunderstanding what's being shared with them, and they become that defense mechanism will kick in immediately. So now I have to protect myself, protect my pride, and I'm willing to fight and die for my pride because it's one thing that I fully know and understand, and I'm secure. So I don't want anyone to challenge me. But in actuality, as we mentioned the word ignorant or illiterate, it's not to down anyone. It's just according to the scholastic understanding of it. That's where we're trying to get everyone to truly identify.
Yeah, I mean, the word ignorant only means unaware. It's only, but when it sounds harsh when it come out, oh, he ignorant. Man, I'm not aware what the situation is. I don't have the proper information. Okay, now give it to me, teach it to me. You know.
So
So
let's get to the root of that. When someone doesn't know, do you think this derives from early childhood education, middle school, high school? There's a component in that where one of the reports we were reading that people that look like us, they are being punished through a early suspension for frivolous offenses, and that pattern is that suspension is setting a pattern for being extradited out of a certain system, which we call today the school to prison pipeline.
oh yeah,
So we
I
have to
mean,
get better instructors, better teachers that they are more than just instructors or teachers. They really understand their culture.
you just hit it right on the nose. They say 70% of teachers in America are white women. So if I don't, how I need to understand different cultures in order to be able to teach. They used to say no child should be left behind, but why do they have an individual that doesn't pass to the next grade, accelerate to the next grade? Why do you have testing that makes a system that says A, B, C, and D when everybody should be trying to obtain the A, be able to have understanding of the subject in which you teach. You know, everybody should understand algebra. If he get a C or B, say, well, hold up. He got a D in algebra. He don't understand the formula, how the formula works. So I'm gonna push him to the back and focus on these other 12 or 13. Now everybody should be focused and get this equation right before we move further to the next stage.
Yeah,
Everybody get to understand it.
Just like you just said, now you can see the importance of it dealing in your current profession with square root, and understand square feet, understand the basic math, because this is how you bid, this is how you get paid.
Yeah, the system need to be revamped, and we need to have more of us becoming teachers. They say we only have 7% over in the overall United States that's teachers. We make up 7% of the teachers in America.
Are you talking about black males?
Black males and females, only 7% as a whole.
Okay.
So again, as when my youngest son was in elementary school, I volunteered every Wednesday for the whole school curriculum year, right? Every Wednesday. Every teacher in the school was female. They didn't have not one male teacher. Only males that was in the school were the janitors. It's that elementary school now.
Yeah, that's scary, because once again, through psychology, we understand that we learn through observation. So if you see those that are feeding you intelligently are all females, and depends on their ethnicity, but you see the only males in there are janitorial, it's a challenge there, a serious challenge.
Oh yeah, and let me make this assertion too. Insert that. The vice principal, he was a male.
Okay.
He was an authoritative figure. He waving his paddle all the time. He wasn't, teaching. From my observation, you have to teach hands-on and communicate how things should work. You don't got to beat a child all the time or a person all the time to make them understand. I realized that with my children. I said, man, I ain't got time to be fighting with y'all with my fist or with no belt. I'm gonna talk to you the first 2 or 3 times and give you some understanding. And then if you don't get to understand, I might pull back and reserve myself and don't talk at all. Let you come back and ask me for the understanding. Well, Dad, why you do this or why you do that? You see what I'm saying? It's just different techniques to teach it. So, but if you don't see us inside the school teaching carpentry, Mr. Sims at Neville High School, now Mr. Mims at Neville High School, he taught carpentry. I didn't even want to attend his class. I had this class and I didn't want to attend it. I'd go stand out in the smoking section. I think about that now. They had a smoking section in this high school where the high school students can go outside and smoke.
Oh, wow. Really?
I'm like, wow. But his class was at right around the smoke section, and everybody used to hang out and not get the carpentry stuff. Now you talking about building beds, dressers, homes, everything comes from the wood product. And
everything that we see today that our people are taking from raw material until the finished product, selling it, creating a resource. I'm sorry, revenue.
Yeah, and we ducking it. You know, I was really ducking. I even went to when I was away in prison at the time, I was in the electrical course. I told the people, get me out of there. I don't want to be in there. I was young, 19, 20. I was 22. Get me out of there. I want to go work in the kitchen. What? Now I look back at this and say, wow, I could have been had an electrical degree. You know, this is a trade that instantly makes you money. You can go hang a ceiling fan up for $75. It's only 3 wires. You can hang a ceiling fan up for $75. You know how many people need a ceiling fan hung up or a light hung up in their house? You know, change out a switch. You know, anything.
Yeah, because I know you have a brother too that's a master at welding.
Yeah, and can build staircases, everything. You know, so you utilize all these people now that you know, and then you create your own community. Self-improvement is the basic for community development. If I improve me, everything around me can improve. It's just simple. If I'm good, if I'm a stand-up guy, the person that's around me gonna be a stand-up guy because he knows that she knows that I'm a stand-up guy. Simple. And you improve your community overnight. And you don't have to worry about the mayor, the city councilman, your next president, because we got to worry about these individuals. You know, we should, because we got ourselves structured enough to understand that we got to provide for ourselves and not wait on anyone.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I appreciate you bringing that back home. That's what it's all about. So it's time out for the community to, we need to end this divisiveness because we're worried about who's going to be the leader of, the administrative leader of this city right now. It doesn't matter because that person is just a partner with us to build a bigger, to bring our vision to fruition. So we have to start individually, improve ourselves so we can improve our family's mindset, employ individuals to secure resources, to secure revenue streams so we can create what's taught as generational wealth. And that's where it starts.
Oh yeah. And then you got to understand that where there's no vision, the people perish. That's the so-called Christians in America's scripture. So, but you got to have vision. Somebody has to have the eyes to see this stuff and make it work, and give everybody to understand how it really works. You know, this is not no hard task. We make it hard because we not sitting down in EAT. We not evaluating all things. What's the biggest revenue stream in the city, in any city? What's the biggest revenue stream? You need to figure out what's the biggest revenue stream in your city and piggyback all the things else, all the other things around that stream. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. But I like that idea, what you just mentioned. Each district, or take it smaller, each block, each homeowner, each block, all the homeowners need to create some type of collective, what they call co-ops, and buy your block, clean your block up. So many homeowners on the block, the ones that are dilapidated, buy that block, rent them houses out. So now we can pay our water, property taxes every year, electrical, build your own block.
Yeah, you know, and thriving communities where they selling those $1.6 million houses at and $500,000 house. They got homeowners associations,
Mm-hmm.
and they making sure that they clean up.
That's right.
You can't have a abandoned car in the yard. Get that stuff out of here. You know, you can't have trees are not planted in the proper position or flower beds. You got to have all of that in a homeowners association. So you
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing in the poor community. Figure it out. You don't let them see that you're poor. You poor in understanding. That's all. You're not poor in funding
Yeah,
because we got the funding.
yeah,
Poor in understanding. You
yeah,
know how to do for self. Do for self is the basis for community development.
yeah,
It'll work every time.
yeah. POOR is the acronym POOR, passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
miseducation of the Negro. That's all. The so-called
1933.
Negro, anyway.
That's right. That's right. Well, Brother Marcus, that's our time. I appreciate you. I know you're moving around. You got to make things happen. So we need to get you out of here. So,
Yes, sir.
so when you do come back, we have to get ready because the thinking and the movement may be a little bit fast for us. So we have to be open enough to go ahead and accept what's being taught because there's been many teachers before you, and they, as I've heard you say, they keep piping and piping and piping. But at that time of our maturity, we could understand it or grasp it, and it went over our heads. But as long as they plant the seed, so when we do become mature enough, we can get it and go.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we ready. It's time. The seed's been planted. We got to harvest the plants now. Harvest our newfound resources and make it work for us. You know, and we get out there and do the right thing. And our community will change overnight. This is from city to city, state to state, because everything is happening in every city, just like it's happening in your city. Every city, same thing.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. I'm out. EAT, man, evaluate all things.